Welcome to StarTalks powered by Advotalks. Today we have with us our most esteemed guest, Advocate Geetika Jain, a Senior Legal Analyst at APCFSS, the Government of Andhra Pradesh, a Ph.D. scholar and a Guinness World Record holder and a prominent writer for the Speaking Tree section of the Times of India. Geetika's remarkable journey encompasses more than a decade of experience at the High Court of Bombay and Goa. Having earned a gold medal in her graduation in law and a silver medal in her post graduation in criminal law, her expertise extends across various domains, including civil law, criminal law, real estate, media and entertainment, as well as government policy. Geetika's contributions to the governments of Maharashtra and Andhra Pradesh have been very instrumental in regularizing the government litigation and reducing the false cases against the governments. Beyond her legal accomplishments, Geetika is an esteemed visiting faculty member at several prestigious law colleges in Mumbai. Her dedication to educating the next generation of legal minds is commendable and reflects her passion for sharing knowledge and empowering others. Today, she has joined us at StarTalks to express her insights and experiences, providing valuable perspectives on various aspects of exploring the empowering first generation lawyers, overcoming challenges, and embracing success. I should admit that I'm quite excited to host her. With that, I warmly welcome Ms. Geetika Jain to our talk show, StarTalks powered by Advotalks. Welcome to the show, Ms. Geetika Jain.
Thank you so much, sir. I'm pretty overwhelmed with the introduction, and I thank Advotalks for inviting me as a guest speaker. I definitely look forward to this session, interactive session, where the advocates and young generation, first generation lawyers will learn a lot from this session, sir. So I look forward to the same.
Absolutely, ma'am. It's going to be very exciting for us at Advotalks. So with that, let me start with the fundamental understanding on, what has inspired you to become involved in empowering the first generation lawyers and what problems did you face personally when you have started practicing law?
I started practicing law approximately 12 years ago. And when I started the practice at High Court of Bombay and Goa, what I did realize is that students, especially first generation lawyers, do not have mentors and godfathers, especially they don't get the guidance or the directions how to navigate their career when they come into practice. The problems or the struggle we faced were how to basically improve ourselves. See, when we are in law school, we learn about the law. Nobody teaches you to become an advocate, to, appear before the court or appear before the bench and take up the matter, take up the case and deal with clients. So, one of the very basic issues that I faced was apparently with respect to how to communicate with the bench, how to build up a career, how to build a say if I want to be a female advocate practicing in the court, then what are the ways that I can go through and build my career? So this was the first thing or the loophole I noticed when I started my career. The second thing was that probably the hesitant approach was there, that our seniors expected us to know things already, like from very basics of drafting to communicating to the bench to already knowing about a matter. So it takes time, it is a time evolving process. So this was one thing. What inspired me to get into practice was that no one in my family apparently has got anything to do with law. Most of them are chartered accountants or the company secretary, or CS as we call it. So one of the basic things that I felt was that none in my family is a lawyer, and probably there was some inclination towards getting the uniform, through JAG, which is Judge Attorney General. So one of the careers I was apparently initially looking to was becoming a JAG officer. That got me into law. And while I was a student, when I saw the way advocates, conduct matters in court and they present themselves before the bench, inspired me so much that I was like, I want to be a practicing lawyer. Definitely, there are many myths about the fact that female advocates are still restricted into practice because it's still a male-dominated career, even in this 21st century. However, I believe with the grit that you have, or with respect to the kind of, if you are confident about that, only this is what you want. I believe at the end of the day, you are able to, navigate your career with your confidence, with your humbleness and networking. So I believe, sir, the inspiration that came to me was with respect to the fact that, nobody in my family had pursued this as a career. And because the loophole was with respect to direction and mentors, I believe that I'm one of the examples that can set, for the future young generation lawyers. Yes.
Definitely, ma'am. I
So,
think like that's a great inspiring story of yourself and on how you have drawn actually interest towards the law and the struggle that you have actually mentioned, before
right,
becoming the first generation lawyer. You have also
right.
touched upon some of the misconception and, kind of, the stigma that is attached for the women practitioners that you mentioned. So I wanted to understand in a broader aspect, what are the common myths and misunderstandings like today, or obstacles probably you can say, that the new lawyers are facing, and how can they deal with them effectively?
So the obstacles that they are facing is lot with respect to, like I in the very beginning said, was the direction is not, the clarity or the focus is not there. When you come into practice, come with a mindset that it is a time evolving process. You will grow with matters, you will grow with the clients that come to you. Every matter is unique, that exposes you to different set of laws in your career, different set of benches in your career. So it's a time, and patience is a key to the same. So career will not boom in the next 48 hours of becoming an advocate. It is something with process you will learn. So the one of the things or the myths they have is that it's a, this is something that we are just out of the law college and we have all the credentials of tier one, internships that we have done and the moots we have done. But like I said, the practical aspects of law when you come into practice is very different. The dynamics are very different, the way when you approach the bench or the way you approach and brief a senior counsel. So, patience is a key. One of the keys is that. And another myth is the quick money. Again, once you build credibility in the market, the money will follow. Once people know you here that yes, you are an established advocate, the clients will automatically come to you. So, first is basically that it is a time evolving process. The second myth is that it is not quick money, it is a process that will happen when you build a credibility in the market. So that is another myth that is there. The third myth is with respect to, they believe that networking is the only source. No, networking can lead you probably to start your career. To navigate it, you will have to evolve yourself. You will have to grow every day. You will have to learn every day. You will have to improve every day. So these are few of the common myths I have seen in younger generations who believe that using chat gpt is a solution to all the drafting techniques. No, ultimately you have to sit down, work on every beef, work on every case that client comes to you, respect that every client is important. It is not a cut copy paste that you can go in every matter and do it to the court. So these are the common myths which I believe. And the last one I would like to mention, Siraj sir, is that they believe litigation has no money. So most of them are diverted towards having careers in corporate law or as an in-house counsel, where they believe that a fixed package is a better career option. Because when you start as an advocate, when you start making or initially getting paid apparently as an advocate is more or less peanuts. But what they don't realize is that when you are exposed to learning the practical aspects, you develop skills on your way to communicate, on your way of orating skills, on your way of body language, how you need to dress and appear before the court. And that is the reason why the process starts slow in terms of money. So, what, like I really said, is that a paid package is not always good for a career. You have to learn to be independent in the arena of practice. So,
Right,
that's what I
right.
believe, Siraj sir, are the common obstacles that are existing and hindrances when it comes to career.
Right, right. Thanks for bringing those, myths and misconceptions, like you mentioned about, people may be thinking, the aspirants may be thinking that, Chat GPT is going to be of rescue, but it just doesn't
Right,
end there. It starts there. Maybe it's a good start point to adopt to the technology, but
right,
you may
so
have to kind of, have that importance to each client, respectively, and subsequently come out with, the respective matter, maybe having a specific point that you may have to bring out. So that is something that the lawyer has to bring on his own. Thanks for bringing those points. You have also a little bit touched upon the networking aspect. I wanted to understand a bit more about, how important do you think is, for the new lawyers, especially, to have mentors and the connections in the legal field, Geetika ma'am?
Right. So see, having mentors is always a boon because you have somebody who has walked the way and somebody who can probably tell you that these were my mistakes, or these were not just mistakes, but these were the struggles I have gone through and you can avoid. Like, say, for example, if now I count myself little bit experienced in terms of being 12 years into practice, when I speak to the first generation lawyers and advocates, I tell them that probably it took me 12 years to reach. With what I have learned, the lessons that we have learned, you can do that in the next 6 years. One of the lessons that were very, very important is self improvising yourself. Like, nobody will spoon feed you. You will have to make sure that, like, when the brief comes to you, say, for example, you sit down and read it. You don't have to wait for instructions to come in. Prepare the list of dates and events, look after the judgments, what are applicable to your case. You look at the cases which respect to the defense will support you, or if you are representing as a prosecutor, what will support you, what are the loopholes that are existing. So these were the things that were initially not told to us, that you have to self improvise the same. That is how you learn. The second is your orating techniques. So networking and mentorship helps you because they are able to tell you what you are lacking behind. So mentors are the ones, but not everyone gets the opportunity to have a mentor, right? Networking, on the other hand, in practice is very, very important because once you are in sight, you are in mind. So once you are visible regularly in the courts, at least people start getting to know your name and contacts. Just for example, greeting a senior counsel as good morning, sir, good afternoon, sir, also matters a lot. What people don't realize is they may not know us, they don't have to know us. We know them, we respect the way they have reached there, and even by just acknowledging the fact, they will look up to us and acknowledge the same back. So this is very important, that networking and building your credibility in the market is there, that you are in sight of people who are already existing over there. But yes, having said that, you can bring the horse to the water, you cannot make it drink until and unless you put in your efforts, and until we are thrown in the pool, we will never learn to swim. So, yes, limited aspects are there to mentoring as well as networking, no matter how much good mentor you have. Ultimately, you have to make sure you take the best quality of that mentor. You learn the best things that they have built in their career, how they have built in their career. And networking, right? I believe, one thing very important, Siraj sir, is that be it a clerk, or be it an office boy, or be it even a senior or a court representative or a pastry as we call it, everyone is an important aspect into our practice. So maybe 12 years down the line, the person I have worked 12 years ago will still remember me from the words I have used, the kindness I have shown. And it's not that, this is a small world we live in, Sirat sir. Everybody knows us, the good also, the bad side also. If we don't treat well, they will remember that also. If we treat them good, they will remember that also. So yes, networking is utmost important. Building contacts is utmost important, Sirat sir.
Yeah, so you brought in two aspects, like the mentorship as well as the connections are quite important, as well as it is also to understand the fact is that that's not just enough, but there is a lot of, other aspect to it, that, how you kind of,
Right.
showcase yourself, the gratitude towards them, as well as the others in the, the legal fraternity. That comes to my mind to ask a specific question that I have been thinking over, Geetika ma'am. So how can the first generation lawyers navigate the imposter syndrome and build self confidence in a competitive field like law?
Right. When it comes to imposter syndrome, honestly speaking, I believe that being fake will not take you in the very long run, because ultimately you're going to be here in this industry for as long as you can think. This is your bread and butter. So, imposter syndrome will not probably help you go in the long run. So, how can you avoid the same? Is the very basic thing is self motivation is very important. Celebrating small milestones in your career is very important. When we do well in exams, when we score well in exams, the parents probably celebrate our milestones. The same is when you start a career as an advocate, be it you're wearing the gown and the band for the first time, it's a milestone. You are elevated as a law student to an advocate, celebrate it. Be it your first hearing or your first adjournment you have taken in a criminal case, again, pat yourself in the back. So one thing that we look up to is acknowledgement from the people we are working with, probably our seniors, probably our fellow colleagues. But the first thing is, am I appreciating myself? I need to self motivate myself that yes, I'm trying to do my best. This is the best. Have I delivered 100% to the case or the work I'm dealing currently? So imposter syndrome can be avoided by first self motivating every day that yes, this is something that I want to do. And you can avoid this, that it should motivate you to go to court every day, and you should appreciate the fact that you get different cases on your platter, different benches to approach, different kinds of laws to understand every day. Not in the world any job will give you this opportunity. So first that should motivate you, that practice should be a passion, not just an earning factor and bread and butter in your life.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks for bringing that specific aspect of how the lawyers can actually navigate the imposter syndrome and then bring some self confidence, especially in the competitive field like law. Also, can you share a story about a time when you helped a new lawyer overcome challenges and find success in the legal world?
Yes, sir. So, being into practice for so long, working with the law firms, we get a lot of interns also, and then paralegals, trainee associates as well. And being a faculty in the law school also gives me an exposure to interact with students who want to pursue litigation as a career. So there have been times when students have come up to me that right from making the CV in a proper format, how to enlist and showcase their skills and apparently land a job. So I do remember this kid who, had this mindset that ma'am, लिटिगेशन करना तो है लेकिन पता नहीं कि शुरू कैसे करूं, कहाँ से करूं, because most of the time nationals have placement options, so most of the other law schools don't have a placement option. So how do I approach a law firm? How do I put in my cover letter or my CV? So right from the point where he approached me to build the CV for him, to write a small short professional email to the firm and put up his CV for an interview, and how to navigate in the interview, the kind of question that probably a beginner will get. I was able to mentor him. And not only that, did he get the job, he got a very good package. Now he's, I think, I believe 2 or 2.5 years into practice also. And the difference I have seen in him as a law student, when he was quite shy and introvert, to now that he is so self-confident when he appears in the court, when I meet him very often and we do have a few conversations, that mentorship is very important, that what are we giving back to the community. So it's very important that that students also speak to us with respect to the shortcomings they have, and they are able to come and communicate the same. So this was one such aspect, not just one student, many students. I have been able to guide them throughout their career, be it sometimes they have this, that ma'am, I want to switch to media and entertainment law. I have been working into civil practice for 2 years now and to switch to it. How can I improvise it? So at times when you don't have something in your syllabus or something that you have not studied, do a certificate course, possibly, so that you gain knowledge and hands-on experience to the same. So this way we are able to guide them that if you want a niche in one career option of law, say you want to make a career as an entertainment lawyer, then are you updated with the laws? Are you updated with the entire knowledge about the, acts which are existing, legislations which are existing? So this way I have been able to mentor them. A few of them, I believe they are doing very good in their career.
Great to
Yes,
know,
sir.
great to know, great to know, ma'am. You have inspired a lot of youngsters and young aspirants. Uh, let us move a little bit further with the wide and the background that you have worked with the government agencies. We wanted to understand what opportunities are available for the aspirants to get assignments in the governance field, especially.
Right. So apart from trying their career as a GMFC, which is Judicial Magistrate First Class as a judge, you can also have a career being a researcher, legal researcher in a lot of government organizations. And all of them need a backup hand when it comes to the policies implementation. And most of the times that common man is not aware about, or the students are not aware about, that whenever any act or like say for example we have the Citizenship Reform Act, right? I mean we have just implemented the same. So there is a lot of study that goes behind the same, as to when you're implementing the same, how will the people take it, how impact of the same, it comes into the picture. So a lot of study goes into the same, and you need legal expertise into that. So one of the careers they can have is working as a researcher with the good government organizations. There are a lot of commissions that are working, be it human rights commissions, women commissions. Apart from that, not only just commissions, also policy making departments are there, different departments in finance, or be it when it comes to the law itself, Department of Law and Judiciary also need researchers when they are working on the state policies, when they're working on the national policies. So being a researcher is one such aspect. The second they can become is representing the government in the cases as an additional prosecutor. Most of the time, the government need assistance to represent their cases when it comes before the bench. So you can navigate your career as an additional prosecutor after a year or two of practice. There is a process in which you are selected as an additional prosecutor. Probably you can work under a prosecutor, AGP as we call it. Government pleader is also one such option, that you can become a government pleader also. So you are able to handle the cases in respect of the government, be it a development authority, be it a municipal corporation, be it one particular department of the government. So you are able to deal cases in respect of that as a prosecutor or as a government pleader. The third option, which I am pursuing currently, being as a senior legal analyst or a legal analyst, is an option where you are able to support the government deal with their litigation cases while working with the department. So, like in my career, I have worked twice with government of Maharashtra, and I've dealt now currently with government of Andhra Pradesh. Now, a lot of cases are in respect of the finance department. Like usually, finance is not released for making the roadways, or the universities are not getting the funds, or there are a lot of cases in respect of service and non-service matters. Like government servants have a life cycle of promotions, superannuations. So a lot of cases are filed when it comes to the service matters. Non-service matters can be pertaining to the tenders also. So governments do need assistance in terms of law expertise. And becoming as a senior analyst, you can guide them, you can handle their cases, you can probably give them templates to deal with the cases. Judgments can be delivered to them. So there are a lot of protocols that can work with the government, and you can play a pivotal role. Like currently in my career twice, like I have done for government of Maharashtra and Sitco, we implemented an online system called legal tracking system, where the officers can track their cases online sitting in their office. They don't have to go to court and navigate and look up to the cases. The same we are trying to do in government of Andhra. With the pendency of the cases against the government, we have more than 2 lakh cases which are piling. We have tried to implement a software under online legal case management system. So all the officers, be it the principal secretary, IS officers, can look up to the cases in respect of their departments, give instructions to the government leaders sitting there in the office. So we are trying to bridge the gap between the government and the cases that are pending in the high court. So these are a few kind of government sector jobs that you can work, when you want to navigate your career, Siratza,
Yeah.
into the government sector.
Sure, ma'am. That's pretty much informative for all those aspirants. Like other than the judges, the positions of the judges, as you mentioned, there are legal analyst positions as well as the AGPs, as you mentioned, the assistant government pleaders or such fashion. These opportunities can be kind of explored by the legal aspirants, and thanks for bringing that. Let me conclude with the final question. So you have been wearing multiple hats like a PhD scholar and a legal analyst, as well as yourself, you're a faculty member, right? So at top law school you have been a faculty. What is the message for those who want to keep up with their passion towards the field of law, as well as an experienced analyst and a scholar? What tips do you have for the new lawyers trying to make a name for them?
So, I would just like to say as a parting message that first and foremost, it is important to whatever career option you choose in law, be it practice, be it as an in-house counsel, be it in the government sector. First, have patience. Have patience is very important because it's a time-consuming process that you will build your career. Rome was not built in a day, so your career will also be built with times. The way when you start working with pace that and the momentum that you keep in your career, you will be able to build a name for yourself that people will know you when you enter into the market. So that is one thing, have patience. The second important aspect, which I believe, is that always consider yourself as a student of law. You can never get perfections, be it a simple draft that we make or be it any arguments that we do before the bench. It's not about just getting perfections. It is about being student of law every day. Law is evolving, law is changing. Give 10 minutes every day before you go to sleep to read the important judgments. If possible, learn new words because law vocabulary works different from the common English vocabulary. So, are you learning those things every day or not? And again, जहाँ से भी सीखने का मौका मिलता है, सीखो. And the third important thing or a message I would like to convey is that if you have some free time during the day, sit in the court and observe the hearings. It's very important how the process conducted, how does the senior counsel communicate to the court, what are the kind of matters, take notes from the same, not only your seniors but also the other advocates who are present in the room. So at times go to the court, sit there, observe in your free time, pen down those notes, implement the same when it comes to your cases also. And most importantly, self appreciate yourself. It's very important that whatever the kind of work you are doing, you are able to get satisfied with respect to that I'm delivering my 100% and I'm satisfied with the efforts I'm making every day. And also, sir, don't make it monotonous. It is important that you have a work life balance. Most of the times, I do see fellow colleagues only working and not able to balance their personal life. I believe being into litigation for so long, what I have understood is that I can only keep on continuing this passion if I'm able to balance my other, interests that I have. So, right from understanding that yes, work is important, client is important, but the balance in life is also very important to keep that passion alive. So, apart from not only having the patience and understanding that it is a time consuming process, it will develop with the time. Reading and writing is also very important. The more you will read, the more appreciate that you will write it down. If you're able to write it down, you will develop your skills of drafting and vocabulary. And last, as a message, Siraj sir, is networking. Keep in touch with your colleagues from the college, with your seniors, the councils that you brief, even the jobs that you do. It doesn't mean that you switch jobs and your connection gets over at the previous place. No. Even after so many years, greet your seniors with the same respect. So these things, I believe, Sriracha will help them a lot in their career as a first generation lawyer. And I believe this interactive session will also give them some tips and tricks how they can navigate the career into being a first generation advocate.
Yes, Geetika ma'am, thanks for much elaborative session on the tips that the younger generation, younger aspirants, basically the first generation lawyers for that matter, should adopt. And We are quite happy that we are able to spend time with you, and this brings us to the end of the great insightful conversation, Geetika Jain. So thanks for helping us and our audience for understanding the various aspects of empowering first generation lawyers. We appreciate you for taking time and sharing the invaluable advice. Once again, thanks a lot from Advotalks.
Thank you so much, sir, for this opportunity. I wish all the best to the Adbook Talks for this amazing session, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So, viewers, that's about today's episode with Advocate Geetika Jain, which brings a good understanding about the empowering first generation lawyers. We hope this conversation was knowledgeable. For more updates and information on legal concepts, please visit our website www.advotalks.com, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Advotalks.